Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Profit Roadmap. We're your hosts, Ryan and Becca. This is the premier podcast created for field service pros to help you grow your business, stay on top of the latest trends, and help you provide even more value to the communities that you serve. Now, in this episode, we are excited to welcome two special guests. We've got Justin Woodford, a service autopilot certified advisor and owner of Ready Business Systems, and Caleb Esuary, a FieldEdge member and VP of Complete Heat and Air in South Carolina. Caleb, I say your name right?
It's actually Esuary. It's not spelled that way at all.
Woo!
But that's how you pronounce it.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, I'll work on that for the outro.
You're good.
It's not the first name I've butchered here. I do apologize.
No, you're fine, man.
Oh, good. So today we're going to talk about hybrid work strategies and tools that you can use for team communication, effective meetings, and lots more. We're excited that our guests can provide the perspectives of both a business coach and a successful business owner. Justin has been in the service industry for over 20 years. He got to start in painting before creating his own landscaping company and even has his own real estate company as well. Now, after taking these steps to automate his service business, he became a service autopilot certified advisor and founded his company, Ready Business Systems, which helps service businesses automate and grow. Now, Caleb is the VP of Complete Heat and Air out of Easley, South Carolina, which is an award-winning family-operated HVAC company. Caleb and his company are also proud members of the FieldEdge family. So, hey guys, thanks for coming on. Welcome to the Profit Roadmap. How you guys doing today?
Doing well.
Justin, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into the service industry? I remember you, by the way. I've been here for a while, so I remember when I first started here talking to you a few times. Tell our listeners more about yourself.
Yeah, so I grew up just kind of doing side hustles, cutting some grass. I think a lot of people have this story with their landscaping company, just doing a neighbor. Used to ride the router mower down the street to neighbors' houses. I did through high school. I did through college. I didn't really take it that seriously, had other priorities. But I got out of school. I graduated. I went to school for engineering. I got out in 2008 during the crash, and there weren't a whole lot of opportunities. So I just kind of kept doing what I knew, which was the landscaping. Also during college, a couple of my friends did a franchise, College Pro Painters. They kind of get college students to run a painting company, a few crews. So I kind of kept the landscaping going, had one of my friends doing it while I was doing the College Pro thing. I talked my brother into it. They had like a referral program at the time. And so my brother did it, and then he was going to sign up for the franchise again. I said, hey, let's just do it ourselves. We can do it. So we started doing the painting together, and I had the landscaping going, and then we just decided we were better off just kind of separating. So he's still doing the painting, I'm doing the landscaping. And then as of, I think it's probably 3 or 4 years now, maybe longer. I've always been into technology and stuff. I just kind of fell into landscaping. But I just kind of stumbled across the opportunity to be a service autopilot advisor. And then that kind of stemmed off, and now we help other landscaping companies set up their stuff too. So it's fun.
Awesome. So you mentioned you are a certified advisor. So how's that been? And also, how did you go from getting your start into the service industry to creating Ready Business Systems, and how do you help other businesses?
The advisor, I think I was in the members group. I think I'd heard about the program. I went to the conference and I heard about it. I think I applied, didn't hear back, and then it resurfaced somewhere else, maybe in the members group or something like that. So I followed up on it, became an advisor, and people started reaching out to me because we're in that help section. And I just kind of, like any business, you don't really know. I didn't really know what it was about until I get started. I didn't know what people, I knew what it was like to run a business, but I didn't know what people needed help with specifically. And so we just started catering to that, and I've kind of started to notice a pattern now to what people are looking for, and able to kind of replicate different systems and marketing themes that we're doing for ourselves. So.
All right, Caleb, let's kick it over to you real quick, man. How'd you get started in HVAC?
So I actually started out recycling units probably about sixth grade. Since
early.
His really early. Since his family-owned business, my dad started it, and after recycling, I ended up doing installations throughout high school, just on a availability basis when I wasn't in school. And then as soon as I graduated, transitioned over into the office, as we only had a few people then. So I was the first full-time office employee. And since then, we've just kind of spiraled from there. We were 4 back then. We're at 43 right now. So it's been a crazy ride. And didn't think coming out of high school I'd even want to do heat and air. And here I am 9 years later. So,
hey, beautiful, man.
Awesome.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Complete Heat and Air?
Yeah, of course. So it's a family-owned and operated business, as you said. There's 2 generations that work here. We're mainly residential HVAC with a little bit of light commercial. We have our focus on taking care of our team and taking care of our community, not just, keeping everybody warm and cool as needed, but taking care of them just however we can and help out.
Beautiful, man.
I like your logo.
I like your logo a lot.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. There's actually a few of us that have it tattooed on us. I'm one of the 3, and I'm the only blood one. So it's surprising that people have done it. And believe it or not, I was not the first. So
wow.
It's very interesting
that
how that all came
leads me
about.
to ask, are any of the other 2, are they customers or they work for you guys?
No, they were both employees. The first one actually got it when he knew he was leaving. He had another opportunity in another state, and he got it and stood up in front of everybody on our morning meeting that we do on Fridays, and told us all how much we'd meant to him. And so he showed us the tattoo, and then I got it shortly or a few years after that. And then the third gentleman who has it still works here. He's our service manager.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. That's a great story.
Is it a sun?
Yeah.
And when? Is that a?
Yeah. So it's a sun and cloud,
Love
and they're
it.
kind of animated, so they got some emotion in there. And then my tattoo is only an outline. The other ones have their colored in, but I'm not a huge color guy.
That's cool. Keep it classic,
So let's jump into the meat and potatoes here. So things have been pretty wildly different in terms of like remote hybrid work and stuff in the past few years. We can all take a guess as to why. So I want to pose this one to both of you guys. What are some of the pros and cons that you guys have seen as you have more team members that maybe work from home or have flexible schedules?
So work from home. For me, it's overall been a good thing, but there's definitely been some learning experiences there. There's definitely some loss of control there. And there's also, I feel like there's a learning period, like for people to be able to handle working from home, because there's a lot of distractions at home. And I've actually had people come in who had never worked from home before. And because at Ready Business Systems, we're all remote 100%. And they just said, I've never worked from home before. I can't handle it. They have their kids. They don't understand why they're not giving them attention. So that's definitely a challenge. I'd say for the employee, I think it's if it does work out, I think it's provides a better quality of life, I think. And it's also important for them from the employee end to manage your time too, because it can very easily infiltrate all areas of your life when it's remote. It's not like you leave the workplace, come home, and it's gone. So I think if managed properly, it provides like a great lifestyle. And if you think about it too, like for the employees, I mean, the employer, you don't need the office space. For the employee, they don't have to commute back and forth to work, and that's time and money. If you were to figure out what that costs you for mileage on your car, fuel back and forth to work, and if say you're driving half an hour, whatever your commute is, that's on top of your work day. During lunch, you can do your dishes, you can get some things done around the house, that otherwise you have to wait till you got home. So I feel like there's a lot of benefits to it, but from the business side of things, I think it does make management a little bit more challenging, like accountability, things like that. You can't pop in and check on people. So that's my take on it.
So I guess to kind of add to what Justin said, I can definitely see the production or the efficiency increase. The way we have it currently, I'm the only member that is hybrid, but, I see when I'm here in the office, my work production or efficiency actually goes down just because I'm in the same room as 4 or 5 other people and I'm just down the hallway from 20 others. So it creates a lot of conversations. So I do enjoy when I do get back into my home office. It does allow for me to pick up that production. And like Justin said, the flexibility of being able to, pick up the dogs at the vet or, go have lunch with your wife that you don't always have the ability to do when you're in the work office. It definitely can be beneficial if managed correctly.
And then, it's super distracting, which is maybe it's good with some of the conversations, but I probably get 3 times as much done when I'm by myself,
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are good points.
We've actually ran out of space here in our office. So we have a 2-story office, and we've expanded it to be a 3rd story that's almost complete. So we've got as many as, in one room, we might have as many as 5 people at desks. And so, our general manager that's in that same room might want to have a private conversation, but he doesn't have a private office. And I would bet that most of my team can probably hear me doing this podcast from our lower level.
Hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, I think it's interesting because you have people that, some people really thrive on remote work, and like other people, like Justin was saying, like you just can't do it. Like I think I can do. I mean, I'm in our office here in Fort Myers right now, but like I think I'm one of those people where it's like, man, if I'm at home, there's so many other things going on. It's like if I come here, I'm dedicated. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's really interesting.
One of the most important things for me in my home workspace is that I have a totally separate area at my house that is strictly just for work. So my house is 3 stories, smaller house, but 3 stories. So my basement level is completely just office work related. So, I don't have any outside distractions down there. So it's purely work.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's the big thing for me is it's gotta, like, I can't be in the same environment. Like my work and play environments need to be different. Because Justin was saying it, they can bleed together, and it's like I can find myself either overworking or I can find myself underworking.
Oh yeah, when the whole shift first happened in 2020, I remember when we were remote, I would work from 9 a.m. past even my work hours. I was just, because I had nothing else to do, we couldn't go anywhere, so I just worked. And then having a designated spot became important too, because I'm working in my room. I'm sleeping in my room. This is too much. I can't. Yeah. So boundaries and structure was really important.
Yeah, and thankfully that's something I've learned or started to learn. It took me a solid year. So I've been doing it for about 2 years now. And it took me a solid year to learn that the designated place and the boundaries are very important.
All right. So a lot of the questions that we get are around communication. So Caleb, I'll throw this one at you first. How do you communicate with your team in the field versus back or among your office staff, kind of inner office? Like, what are some of the things that you do there?
So what we use for field workers is a service called XOI. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of that before, but it's very beneficial for us, especially if a technician or even our sales staff has a specific situation on site. They take videos of it, they can upload it to the cloud, so it's saved forever. And we kind of built it out to be a flow. So if they need something specific, that, they can get all the information and appropriately portray that to the office staff that may be helping them quote something or need to order a part or something like that. And then on the office side of that, we've actually found that group chats, we use WhatsApp, for example, we found that to be hugely beneficial for us. We've got separate department groups on there, so to speak. So we have one for the entire company that we celebrate the wins. If somebody has prayer needs or something like that, we talk about that kind of stuff. But then, we have on an individual department basis for sales, service, and installation that help things keep things a little cleaner. And so everybody that needs to know that one subject can be on it without any kind of confusion.
That's awesome. And with WhatsApp, you can have it on your desktop too, right?
Yeah. So I have it between my desk at my office, my desk here, or at my home office, and then my desk here at the physical office. I've got it on 3 different laptops, 3 different computers, and my phone. It's very convenient to be able to have everything just separated out into specific departments.
Awesome.
I did not know you could put on your desktop WhatsApp. That's cool. Okay.
Yes.
Why do you have 3 computers?
So that's a great question.
I was getting there, man. Justin beat me to it.
Yeah. So so the business is based in South Carolina, and my home office is actually in Virginia. So I'm up there about 3 weeks out of every month, and usually I'm in South Carolina about a week. 3 weeks up there in Virginia and a week in South Carolina. It can fluctuate some, but I first started out by carrying my computer with me from the office because we use desktops. I do a lot of computer work on the background side of things. And I was first carrying them back and forth. That got really old really fast. So I ended up buying another one for here. And I already had a personal laptop that I just conveniently use for in between or when I'm on the road.
Awesome.
Smart.
Justin, how about you? What sort of communication tools do you use for your landscaping and your other companies that you use?
We use a variety, unfortunately. We use, so personally, I'm just trying to figure out how to break this down. So I personally use, I have my cell phone number, and then I also have like a Google Voice number that I keep on my cell phone. So talking about like, work, personal separation, I can control the Google Voice stuff a little bit more, and I have all my work stuff go there, so I can, not be getting messages throughout the day, or, night when I don't want to be receiving messages. And you're talking about internal communication, right?
Yeah, internal among employees and field staff and inner office.
Yeah, we do a lot of emails with CCing each other, and we use Slack. We're trying to like migrate over there, but we end up a lot in email still. And then we
that
also
can be a hard barrier to break down.
What's that?
That can be a hard barrier to break down.
Yeah,
switching from like emails to Slack.
Messages somewhere else, and then you get moved around.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and then we have we use Ring Central too, which allows a lot of call management where you can redirect calls, ring here, ring there, ring there, and there. So that works great. Something I finally nailed down yesterday, which was killing me, was the two-factor authentications where the codes like they're always coming to my phone. It was killing me. So I finally set that up in like Ring Central, so it texts that number, which then I can forward wherever I want to. So I'm pretty souped about that. But so kind of a variety of tools to communicate internally.
Communication can make or break a project, right? Or not having effective communication at all. So how do you ensure that when you're on the field that everyone gets along together? Like, what do you look for when you're getting those employees and their personality to make sure, okay, these are going to be people that can work together and get the job done?
Since I've been here since there was only 4 of us, I've been involved in a lot of different things. Nowadays I'm not involved in the hiring or anything like that, but one of the biggest things that we look for in hiring is that making sure that it's a great person. You can learn heat and air just like you can learn any other topic. And something that's been beneficial for us is we actually started doing basically a personality test, just a simple basic test for them to do. We've been doing that for several years now, but it's been really beneficial to kind of see what people, how they really are versus what they might tell you. Even though I like to trust people, I think, I hope everybody's as honest as myself, but it's been very beneficial for us to have that. And it's, not that there are bad people out there in the world, but it's helped us make some better decisions on, the company's needs and, a specific department's needs.
Is there a certain personality questionnaire that you guys use or a company?
Yes, it's called Purview. And we actually use, I think the name of the business is Opportunity Interactive, maybe Opportunity for Business. They're based out of Seattle. I don't exactly remember the exact name.
Gotcha. I know more so on the service autopilot side. Becky, you can tell me if they still do this, but like they do the Colby test.
Yeah, we do Colby.
I took it because my boss is, yeah.
Oh, do you see the numbers?
It's similar. Yeah, I see the numbers and stuff.
It's interesting because it's like
my boss came from the service autopilot side.
Those are super cool. You learn a lot about yourself as well. I've gotten like those executive coaches. That's when I took one of those, and I gave them to some of my team as well. And it's very interesting. It makes you kind of understand why you interact with that person a certain way.
For sure. And it's in our company Slack. So what I can see when I'm about to message someone, like it makes me actually think about how to approach them because, okay, their mindset's different from mine. I need to be more logical with this person or more creative with this person. So it's very helpful in that way.
That is awesome that you guys are able to see that interacting with one another. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to gush about it too much, but the Colby stuff is really cool. And at the end, it gives you a little, like a set of numbers. I don't want to call it a score because that's not representative of the way that it works. But like, you got 4 numbers and each of them is a different category. And depending on what your number is, whether it's high or low, you kind of interact with that part of your personality differently. I'm probably not doing it justice, but man, it's some super cool stuff. But yeah, we have it. Everybody has it on their Slack internally on our side, so I can see it. So, this one's for both of you guys. So like, do you guys have an approach to meetings to help make sure that they are effective? It's like a lot of times if I jump into a meeting and there's no like real plan, like we'll just we'll talk about, overland vans or motorcycles for 30 minutes or so before we actually get into the nitty gritty of it, right?
We use a document I've created and kind of add to it, like an outline, and then we duplicate it each. So we use Google Drive, Google Docs for all of our, worksheets and Word documents and stuff like that. And we copy that file, that Word document with an outline each week, and then rename it to the next week meeting outline. And that way we cover that. And we also put like times for each section, to give kind of a guide. Just, it's idealistic, doesn't always go that way, but at least gives an idea.
Nature of the beast.
I like that. Yeah.
So we're very similar to that. The only thing different from Justin that we do is we use the Microsoft version of what he's using.
Right.
But we do the exact same thing. We prepare to have a meeting. We come in with an agenda that's got the times listed just for the topics as well. And one of the biggest things for us to kind of bring everybody together is we always start with our mission, vision, and value statements. In our company meeting that we do every Friday, our management meetings, every department starts that way. And then we always try to get some wahoos. So, the good things going on in everybody's life. It can be work related. It could be, you bought a house, you're having a baby, something like that. And that really tries to bring us all together before we focus on the work stuff.
Doing the values and mission statement at the top, because it keeps it top of mind.
Yeah. And it lets everybody know that, these are the goals for the team. And if you don't have the same heart as us chasing after caring for the community, that's the goal. And if you don't line up with that goal, you should think about it.
You brought up something really interesting there, Caleb. So we try to do something similar in our meetings. We call it sharing the wins, which I think you said that phrase earlier.
Yeah.
And something that does is it creates a sense of community within your team and sort of bonds your employees together. It creates more of like a family feel and stuff. So I love that. I think that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, and we absolutely love it. I'll be honest, I didn't come up with it. I learned it from a situation just very similar to this. But it's really helped us kind of personally relate to everybody a little bit more, whether it's virtually or in person. And even if we're in person, we'll throw in a game of cornhole or something like that, a mini game of some sort to kind of get everybody loosened up and ready for the meeting.
But no, I love that all about like bonding and like building a sense of family, because I definitely feel that with my teams too. Like we have like these hour-long department meetings that we're used to in a different structure, but the first 10 minutes, it was just like water cooler talk. Everyone check in. How was your weekend? What's going on? And then like we would start the actual meeting. So just saying we actually care about you as people too, not just, work.
Yeah, that's our biggest thing, is just trying to make sure that everybody, you're not here just as an employee. We actually care about you.
I was going to say, how important is transparency with you all as far as like in these meetings, telling us how the business is doing, how we're performing? You talked about goals and metrics and things like that. How important it is to keep your employees in the loop on that kind of information?
I'm pretty transparent in general. I don't hide anything. I don't know. I think that's important. It's who I am as a person. So I be real. I don't try to cover anything up or what have you. So pretty transparent.
I'm the exact same way. Very, very honest and open, very transparent. If we want to have a conversation about somebody's numbers and someone else happens to be sitting there and they're okay with it, I don't have any problems with that. I've even heard of some places like they'll post the service department metrics so everyone can see how everyone's doing. And I don't have any bad things to say about that. I think that's actually a good idea. It allows everybody to kind of understand where everyone's at. But it's just not something that we've taken that step to yet.
I think disciplinary stuff is best not done in front of everyone, but I don't know if someone asks me if it's just about transparency, like I don't try to, I'm pretty open and straightforward about things.
Oh yeah. And like in transparency in the sense of everyone knowing so how they can help, with the company's overall goal to grow and to, be the best that you can be out there. So yeah.
Yeah. And to clarify just slightly, as Justin said, coach privately, praise publicly is, a Southern phrase. I'm not sure if y'all hear that a lot.
Oh yeah.
But it's a big thing that, everybody should live by that I see. It's very easy to take someone's demeanor down or their enthusiasm out if you're not careful.
Yeah. Something you gotta
hire, fire, and promote on values. That's another one. I was thinking about that, and you're saying you put that in your meeting outline.
So let's go back to communications for a second. So internal communications is something that, as you scale, can break down pretty crazy in my experience. So I think when I started here at FieldEdge, we had like maybe 30 people, and now we're several hundred. So it's been pretty bananas over here. So I want to ask you guys, right? So you guys have both grown businesses and everything. So as your business scales, like, do you guys see that like communication breaks down? And if you guys are seeing that, like what are some of the things that you would recommend doing to make sure that doesn't happen or that you can mitigate that?
So one of the biggest things that we struggled with as we had massive growth in 17 and 18 and 19 were really that we just had a few managers or one or two people that were being pulled in a lot of different directions. So we had to put in place, department managers for service, installation, sales, and really kind of delegate those tasks. And it really just opened things up for clear communication. It's not me hearing it from the third person. It's direct from, the comfort consultant to the sales manager. It just made it easier so that it's not traveling through the circle of whispers.
Right. What would you say? You kind of mentioned something, Caleb, that about delegating. It kind of made me think of, as we scaled here at Service Autopilot, bottlenecks. We like struggling through and working through the whole bottleneck thing. Of like maybe you have one person or two people that have specialty information that a few other people don't have. How do you handle that? Making sure, like, if that person's gone, we got to make sure someone else here can cover this and knows this information, or for whatever kind of task it is internally or out in the field. So how have either of you handled bottlenecks in your business?
Yeah, so kind of how Justin started off about, the Google Drive and stuff like that. So as he mentioned, on an office standpoint, we keep everything in SharePoint, our OneDrive, the Microsoft version of Google. And it's really helped us out. So if it is transparency. The entire office staff has the ability to find documents that they might need, get the information that they need. So it's not, you don't have to come direct to me to get some information or some new hire documents or whatever the case may be. It just leaves it so much more open so people can just find information on their own when they need it.
Yeah, so I was going to say, we use a Loom. So we have I've been using that a ton lately for training, and it's awesome. And we I have a whole database. I categorize, literally I don't do anything now unless I'm creating a Loom for it, any training at all. And then there's a searchable database. I always name them based on what they're about. But it'll transcribe it. It'll actually search the text within there. So it's awesome for information sharing. And what I do too is I have a spreadsheet with daily, weekly, monthly tasks. On one column I have who's responsible for it. And then I have what the task is, and you click on that text and it has the Loom video on how to do it. So that's been awesome. That's something I've been working on lately, just really building that out and if someone leaves, it's the outlines there, what you do, how to do it's right in there. So that's been pretty awesome.
That's a really good idea, because I know sometimes I will as a trainer on this side, I'll get some calls in from people who've been with us maybe for 10 years, and the operations manager who knew everything left, but there was nothing documented in the office. So just what you guys are speaking about, having videos or documentation for businesses that don't have this kind of structure, this would be a good idea for them to start implementing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The thing that I've learned too is because I used to do it screenshots and stuff, but this is before Loom was widely available and stuff. But it's always changing, training, your business is evolving, and your training is quickly outdated. It's just it's never ends, You think you're done, and then you have to go back to start from the beginning again.
It's never done.
Constantly retconning the procedures and stuff. Yeah.
Definitely helpful though.
Yeah. My experience with Loom is limited, but man, I live and die by my Trello board, so I love that.
Yeah. And they do connect together too. So you can kind of send stuff back and forth, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And since we're Microsoft based with the OneDrive and Outlook email, we also use a lot of the planner. So within Microsoft, they have a planner app. And so we use that for, Justin was talking about, daily, weekly, monthly tasks, something along those lines. And it's very transparent. So the office has one large to-do list essentially, and it's very easy for them to take a look at everything and do everything that way.
Yeah. We're actually associated with Trainual too on their end of things. I got certified through them, and I've poked around in the system. I haven't had time to do anything with it, but my idea is to kind of bring everything over in there, because then that's really set up with your training. The looms are inside of it step by step. They take tests and quizzes and things like that. So that's pretty cool technology as well.
I'm curious with I've been asking this question with a few of our guests on our podcast, but it's a relevant topic of AI. So is that how? Okay, you're both nodding your head. So how do you see any impact within your business with that, internally, externally, with artificial intelligence, and like the pros and cons? I'm curious.
So we've actually started using it some. You know, someone actually this morning scolded me for using it in a specific situation, but we've used it some. You know, a service that we use, you can actually use it to respond to your Google reviews now if you would like to. We try to keep ours, you know, written by myself or one of our management team, just to kind of keep it a little more personable. You know, most people probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference anyways, if I'm being honest. But it's just something we like to do. And then we've also used it in some of our like description writings. If we're changing our descriptions for a specific product, we might change, or might use that to help us write that in a faster automated route.
Yeah. We use some basic stuff, just like some of the Facebook auto responses and stuff. You know, Service Autopilot does do a little bit with that too. If you put in a certain response, pretty limited though. ChatGPT, I think you're talking about, Caleb, for like that's the big trendy thing, right? For rewriting stuff.
Yeah.
I mess around with it. I think the idea of it's fun and cool. I tried using it to research something the other day though, because I was, you know, typically, and I'm sure this will become archaic pretty quickly, but you know, I was researching something, like it was some entry. I think I was researching like the entry time period for like entering a house, like tenant communication or whatever, just trying to verify that. And I Googled for it, like brought a bunch of results, brought up a PDF. It wasn't searchable. I was like, you know, I'm going to have to like go through this. And so I'm like, oh yeah, ChatGPT. So I go ask ChatGPT. They gave me the wrong answer. So I was like, that doesn't sound right. I go back and check. Ever since then, I haven't really, you know, used it for anything. You know, still going the old-fashioned manual way, I guess.
I'm cautiously optimistic about it and stuff. So, like, on one hand, Caleb, like using it to like help you generate like descriptions and stuff. I think like using that to like as almost like inspiration for like writing your own. Like you can kind of take it and like change it and like make it, you know, something that works for you guys and put your own voice and your own spin on it. But like to Justin's point, like I kind of just don't trust it yet.
I think eventually it'll be like I have some remote help in the Philippines, and I send her over some Loom videos, and like I send her stuff that's like very like do this, then this, then this, then this, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you know what? I bet eventually you can send it over to, you know, stuff that doesn't involve like thinking. It's just like basic instruction, like verbalized instruction that's like clear. I feel like eventually like AI could handle that. You know, I don't know. I was just thinking that, maybe getting ahead of myself, but like stuff that doesn't, it's not really thinking, just kind of like instructions. You know,
yeah, and I've
describe what you're saying, the actual task.
I like that.
Yeah, and like I said, we've used it for some pretty basic stuff. Ironically enough, I actually did use it to write a car listing for that, and it actually did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
it was perfect. It was perfect for that.
I looked into using it for like blogging, but I just don't, for like SEO stuff. I just don't trust. I don't think that's a smart risk in my opinion, like for writing blog articles and stuff. Cause I feel like, you know, cause they've always had stuff like that mixes the articles and stuff and makes it look like original content, but it's always, you know, the cops and the robbers or whatever, like they're always chasing back and forth. And like Google is trying to make sure that they're getting relevant content to to their customers. And there's always people trying to work the system, and so I just feel like they'll figure out if you can get by with your ChatGPT written blog post, then they're gonna find out that's not original. You know, reverse engineer that.
I gotcha. Actually, it's funny that you say that. Depending on the release timing of these episodes, our last guest, actually, we brought up Becca brought up AI and stuff because it was relevant to the conversation, and we were talking about like SEO and stuff, and that was one of the things that they said. It was like, I'm hesitant to use it for that stuff as well.
I did a lot of research on it. I think I even asked GPT about it.
So a major hurdle in businesses can face when switching working locations is call routing. Justin, this is a specialty of yours, so we'd like to hear more information on how you help businesses with this.
Yes, this is mostly just the Ring Central stuff, setting up the different. So, like for me personally, I started out with my cell phone, right? Most people do, or whatever, one phone number, a personal number. You start doing work for neighbors, they call your phone, right? And eventually I started getting calls that, trying to control that, right? Because, customers calling you at 9:30 or whatever, you don't want to deal with it. You want to shut off. So that was one thing. And then also like, it's your personal number and your work number. Then you now delegate those tasks to someone else. Like say if someone else is going to pick up the phone now, well, now it calls your personal cell phone. So that's not great. What are you going to do? You can either give them your first personal phone and then give all your family and friends your other phone number, and then that person is in there. It's just messy. So what I ended up doing is I ported out my personal cell phone number into Ring Central, and like from that you have like tons of options, because now you can add different lines on there. You can add like a auto assistant, those messages that pick up, say, hey, you've reached whatever company, press 1 for this, 2 for this, 3 for this, and from there you can route it. So now at this point, you don't need to have like, you can do physical lines. Like I have a physical line on my desk, but you can also send it to cell phones. So, if you have employee phones, you can set it to those phone numbers. But as your company changes, like very dynamic, and you can set it to ring. Ours will ring, like our answering service will ring, ring a couple office lines all at the same time or sequentially. So it's very powerful. You have like a lot of control over your call handling.
I can only imagine as business owners that it must be really important to be able to turn off at the end of the day. Like I know it's hard probably, but just to like have some personal time at the end of your hours to like be with your family, your friends, or just self-care. I know I have friends that are business owners too, and that's something they struggle with, is just turning it off.
And from the customer service standpoint, like the ability to be flexible and make sure that the person calling in gets to the person that they need to talk to with this few transfers and we've all been there, right? Where it's like, let me transfer you this person, and that happens 6 more times, and then you finally get to the person. Like it's frustrating. So yeah, that flexibility is awesome. So Justin, I've been told that you also have some pretty good insight around like email communication and stuff, and some tips and tricks in sort of that realm.
Yeah, when I read that, we've got this outline here. I was thinking I actually got a tip from the 4-hour work week, and I try to practice it as well. It's just a good general practice, but rather than like saying if then emails, like I got that tip from that book, and I do that all the time now. So it's like it doesn't require a response. So that was just the first thought came to my mind when we were talking about email communication. But so rather than asking an open-ended question like, hey, like, do you know what to do? Do you know what to do with this? And it expects a response. But like, if you know what to do with this, do this. If you don't know what to do with this, do that. And then it's set and done. So I thought that I've been using that a lot in my personal work life, and it's served me well. Short and sweet, only copy people when you need to. Not dragging along a bunch of other people in it. If you get like, one of my pet peeves is like, and sometimes I don't know if people just don't know how to use their email, or they don't, or they just don't want to CC. But like you run an email CCing people intentionally, and then they'll reply to just you. And it's like, oh, like, you go back and like reply all and forward and blah blah blah. Yep. So yeah, just being concise and not abusing it, and I kind of prefer it in a lot of ways. Like whenever you make it easier for people to contact you, like text messaging is terrible. They won't think. They'll just text you looking for an answer all the time because they'll text back. Like email takes like another step, and I like that because now if they're putting in that little bit of extra effort, they might actually need help. But if they can just text you like 2 seconds, then it's just too easy. The easier you make it, then it just they tend to abuse it and not use their brains if they don't have to.
That instant gratification can be it can be easy to get the answers from somebody else.
Yeah. Nice for the person asking the question, not so nice for the person answering.
Yeah.
really, I'm on the same page as Justin, short and sweet, to the point, only include what you need to include. I'm very thankful that our dispatch staff is extremely good with emails. So, we have 2 or 3 bulk email addresses where we do a lot of property management and apartment work. So they'll email into one bulk email, and it comes to 4 or 5 of our different office staff, and then whoever grabs it first, you respond to it, and just be quick, concise, to the point. And that's usually our biggest thing that's helped us out as we've grown.
Justin, Caleb, thank you so much for being guests with us today on the Profit Roadmap. And just want to leave with, and if anyone wants to contact either one of you, Justin, we'll start with you. Where can they find you? Where can they learn more about Ready Business Systems and what you do, and reach out throughout your contacts?
Yeah, the best place is just readybusinesssystems.com. We have a contact form on there. Just give us a shout out, book an appointment. Calendly, we use that. Great communication tool as well.
Love Calendly.
Awesome.
I love things.
Yeah. So you can book an appointment with us on there.
Well, thank you. And Caleb, what about you? Where can people learn more about you and Complete Heat and Air?
So for myself, you can find me on Facebook at my name, and then Instagram at Esuary. And then for Complete Heat and Air, as Justin said, the website completeheatandair.com is where we're at. And then we're also on your social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, both gentlemen. We appreciate you being here today with us. And for everyone tuning in, thank you for listening to the Profit Roadmap. Remember, you can listen to this show on all major streaming platforms, including Apple, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Be sure to visit our show notes at serviceautopilot.com/podcast to get the links to all the topics we covered in today's show. And if you have any questions or guest recommendations, or you want to be on the show with us, email us at theprofitroadmap@exploretechnologies.com. If you enjoyed today's show, please tell a friend. Have a good one, y'all.